Welcome to FiST Chat, everyone, your weekly vodcast on everything film, science and technology. My name is Ben Warner and I'm joined once again by my good friend and colleague Steve Kern. How are we doing today, Steve? Are you basking in Olympic glory?
I am, FiST Chat fans. I am at my peak and ready to indulge myself in some Olympic glory.
Oh, fantastic, as am I. But just before we get stuck into that, a little housekeeping as usual. Our website, www.fistchat.com. Get all our links there, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Vimeo. You can get all of our stuff there, back episodes, and subscribe to us on iTunes, RSS, etc. And check out our blogs too. I hope you enjoy those. We enjoy writing them, and it's proved to be an interesting writing experience for us both.
Certainly does.
Absolutely. So the Olympics are here, and it's always exciting when the Olympics are on. We were up at 5 a.m. on Saturday morning to check out the opening ceremony. That's how much we were into that, at least. And it was an interesting spectacle. I think the English kind of weren't so concerned about topping anything that had come before. That would be fair to say, although they still had a couple of spectacular moments in the show itself. But it's not really about the opening ceremony. But did you check it out, Steve, or did you check it out on
replay? I did, and Danny Boyle actually, I think, coordinated it. So there you go. FiST Chat fans, there's a bit of Hollywood there for you.
Absolutely. I don't know if you've seen his films. They actually the ceremony seemed a lot in his style. I actually felt like I was watching one of his films.
He was directing it then.
It's good to see that he has a vision at any rate. The thing that is probably the most interesting about the London 2012 Olympic Games is the fact that it's going to be the first Olympic Games that is so exposed to social media. Now, we came across an article on the TVNZ website, and which basically talked about this, and basically they're basically saying that it's going to be the most tweeted, blogged, Facebooked, whatever you want to call it. It's the most reported upon event in history, and the funny thing is, and I like this, although approximately 10,500 competitors are in the Olympic Village, behind 17 kilometers of 4 meter high electric fencing, they have probably never been more accessible to the public thanks to social media. Amazing stuff, huh?
Well, you can't argue with that. That's true. Yeah. That is actually true. Thanks to social media, they will be highly accessible. To the public,
which is great, but you know, the thing is, like, for example, compared now with the Beijing Olympics, there were only 100 million Facebook users back in 2008. Now there are 900 million, and there are 500 million active users on Twitter compared to just 6 million in 2008. So you get that sort of real connection happening there where, you know, any one of these athletes can tweet or blog whatever they want, and, you know, it's going to be picked up by so many people. And there's nothing that the IOC can do about it.
Well, they can't. This is the amazing thing about the Olympics. 10,000 athletes, and they are, by and large, individuals. There are some team sports at the Olympics, but by and large, it's individuals competing. So that's an individual tweet, individual Facebook. That is, you know, will really show the power of social media, because they will share a lot of networks, but they also have a lot of personal networks and extended personal networks through their social media. So, yes, word will get around if indeed anyone says anything interesting. I mean, I doubt anyone's going to really tweet anything interesting. Surely they've all been briefed.
Unless it becomes infamous in some way.
God, well, let's hope not, because that would be very embarrassing. I mean, we all remember, I think it was a swimmer last time, somebody posted a picture of him having a smoke of something.
Yeah.
Got a bit of trouble. Yeah, it's, let's hope they avoid that sort of trouble this time.
Yeah, absolutely. But, you know, the amazing thing is that the IOC actually put out some social media guidelines. I guess they felt that, you know, something, you know, had to be done as far as that was concerned. the part two was the interesting part. The IOC encourages participants and other accredited persons to post comments on social media platforms or websites and tweet during the Olympic Games, and it is entirely acceptable for a participant or any other accredited person to do personal posting, blogging, or tweeting. However, any such postings, blogs, or tweets must be in a first-person diary-type format and should not be in the role of a journalist. They must not report on competition or comment on the activities of other persons. Any information which is confidential or private in relation to any other person or organisation. A tweet is regarded in this respect as a short blog, and the same guidelines are in effect, again in first-person diary-type format. Now, I mean, the thing is, how are they exactly going to police this thing? Are they going to, send some guys over to the Olympic Village if someone tweets something the wrong way?
I think the media will police it, and I think you have to remember these games cost $9 billion. Oh, it's estimated £9 billion to put on. Now that's as much as it cost to build the Large Hadron Collider. People got to make their money back. The media agencies have to make their money back. And the big fear has been that the athletes could actually just report everything for free, in which case I think the broadcast rights would be in all sorts of bother. I don't know. Are they allowed to post videos? I guess they can't post videos of other people's events. They can't do any of those things. And I think that's the full force there of the IOC protecting their broadcast deals, because honestly, if the broadcasters can't make money, and there's talk here in Australia that Channel 9 will actually lose money on the Olympics, gee, the future of the Olympics is going to be very different. Pay for view on the internet.
Absolutely. And if we switch tack now, when I was watching that opening ceremony, I noticed obviously there would have been in the crowd too, but obviously the athletes were carrying around lots of iPhones, and obviously iPhones were the ones that were the most obvious to me anyway. But they were going around recording video, taking pictures, and there would have been a lot of people in the stands doing that sort of thing as well. You can imagine that as the sports unfold over the next few weeks, that's going to be occurring as well, and that's going to be shared with so many people around the world. I'm
not sure it can be though, because that would effectively make them broadcasters. But if you're at an event, you had your iPhone, and either you tweeted a picture of something happening to another person, say a friend of yours. Say you tweeted it to me, for example. How is that? That's not policeable. You can't stop. You can't be stopped from doing that. No, you can't. And but I would assume that they're going to be watching this very closely, because they really can't have people reporting.
Yeah.
Non-exclusively, I guess, is the only way to say it.
So, in that respect, is it a misnomer then that these Olympics are being shared on these platforms as freely as perhaps is being suggested?
I'm not sure. We'll have to wait. Only a couple of days in, and I certainly watched the legitimate broadcast. I wouldn't watch any of these athletes or anyone, especially if they're not doing the right thing.
Absolutely. I think it's amazing. It's technologically the most interesting Olympics, in the sense that all of these, it's going out on so many different platforms, and it's not just there are official platforms for phones, tablets, and all that sort of thing. Obviously there's an official London 2012 app which gives you all the latest information. I've got that downloaded and been playing around with that, so that's all good. So you get that sort of official thing, and I think it's an excellent example of an event that is covered over so many multiple platforms, whereas in the past it was only on the one platform that you saw it, which was television.
And I think that is true. And I mean, while we might laugh a bit about the IOC trying to crack down on social media and non-accredited athletic journalists or whatever they are, it is true. It's people can share in so many different ways, and Twitter is a great example. I can't imagine though that you could actually or any of the athletes are going to pick up tweets to them they're probably too busy preparing or partying or whatever it is they do in that Olympic Village. But you know, it's amazing that people can talk and share and just, you know, I guess the discussions are now public. So we've already had instances where, you know, some of the athletes have been questioned their commitment, and the discussions going on in Twitter. You know, that's probably a negative aspect of it. Likewise, I would expect, you know, when we see some great victories, you know, unexpected victories, you know, there'll be discussions in public there, you know, that really highlight and, you know, represent, I guess, the great feelings we feel when we see an amazing triumph against odds. So I think that's where social media really enhances, you know, these sorts of athletics meets.
Absolutely. All right, we'll move, staying on our Olympic theme, we'll move on to our first film news bite. And we've got two little things that we'll talk about here, basically the best and the worst Olympic movies. And they're... to be honest, I wasn't really so familiar with some of the ones on these lists, but of course, you know, the two that I thought were probably interesting here were obviously the old chestnut Chariots of Fire.
Can't beat it.
Which was obviously, that was played to a great comedic effect in the opening ceremony with Mr. Bean. But the other one, of course, just from a historical perspective, was Olympia, which was actually based on the Berlin Olympic Games, and basically a propaganda film. So just from a historical perspective, that one was quite interesting. But one last one, if we move to the worst movies list, which I'm sure you'll appreciate here, the movie Pentathlon from 1994. I don't know if I haven't heard of it. I don't think you've heard of it, but just listening to the way this plays out, it just sounds awful. With Dolph Lundgren as the star, and he basically he not only he's able to kill apparently Nazis that are in the film, he wins gold, and he kills the bad guy as he's crossing the finish line.
What a fantastic effort. I'm surprised Schwarzenegger and Stallone actually never made Olympic films, or did they?
Oh no, it's hard to say, but at least Dolph got in and and did his bit.
It's actually surprising that Rocky never went to the Olympics, did he?
I'm not sure. Maybe one in the 80s, possibly, because that was really when Rocky hit his high note, I think.
That's right, yeah. Who knows?
We'll have to check that out. Okay, if we move on to our science news bite now, and seems like science can tell us where we're most likely to see the closest competitions or record-breaking performances, and where we're least likely to see anything exciting at all. Very, very interesting. You think there's anything to that at all? Or?
Oh, yeah. Look, you know, it's basically probability algorithms. You know, you can feed in the data, you know, basically of athletes' data, and you can effectively calculate whether or not there's going to be a competition or not. But that's what's brilliant about it, because the unexpected happens, and that's what the Olympics is all about.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, just on our final news bite, the tech one. Now, actually, this was really interesting, in the LZR Racer, and how it was used in the 2008 Olympics. Yes, it was. And it's been banned. So
it has been banned, and there was all sorts of, you know, well, not problems, but people were really upset because, you know, world records have been set using this suit, and then they banned it. But the great news is that a lot of those records are already being broken this Olympics. So
this is without it. So
without the suits. So thank goodness for that. That goes to show that maybe the suits weren't that effective, or swimmers are better now, or something. So all very good. Maybe they've got thinner water at the London Games.
Who knows? I mean, there's some more science coming in, I guess, about how we can improve performance. If they ban us one way, we'll try some other way.
Exactly.
Very good. All right, Steve, we're out of time, so thanks again for the chat.
Anytime. Go for Olympic gold, FiST Chat fans, and tweet us if you've tweeted your favourite Olympian. Tweet us.
Absolutely, we want to hear about it, and we'll retweet it to everyone will listen. All right, so that's it for this week's episode. So we'll catch you next week.